Elon Musk has made it clear he thinks Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is itself fraudulent. There are inspector generals in every single agency.
Oh, I know.
Which interview? I don't know what you're talking about.
The one I just
you are
played
yelling
you from.
so much.
We've got a good one in store for you today. Democratic Senator Coons was on Fox News absolutely handing it to the host as she tried the usual MAGA propaganda. So leave us a like on this video first. Helps us out a ton. We really appreciate it. And buckle in as we're going to get into this debate with the context very much needed.
There are inspector generals in every single agency that are there to find waste, fraud, and abuse.
They've done a fantastic bang-up job. I mean, when you look at the number...
And to start the administration by firing all of them does not suggest a deep interest in listening to these career nonpartisan inspectors general about waste.
No, you can't just like put your fingers in your ear and go, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like it's not happening. We all know
that's not at all what I'm doing, Martha.
Is not
Let me repeat the point.
Run. And these
if
people...
Elon Musk says that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and this president has fired the relevant inspectors general, who are the people most capable, not a bunch of 20-year-old software engineers with no previous government experience.
People, did you watch this interview, Senator? Did you watch the interview? Did you watch this?
Accountants.
Did you watch the interview?
Which interview? I don't know what you're talking about.
The one I just played you from.
You're yelling so much.
For anyone with sense, that was pretty much what gave the game away with the waste, fraud, and abuse line. From the very beginning, Trump came in, he fired all the JAGs. He fired all the inspectors generals. These are the people who can investigate these matters, who can be directed to handle them accordingly while being completely nonpartisan, non-political, with lifelong experience and training doing exactly this. Trump replaced them with Elon Musk and 20-year-old neo-Nazis who are clearly partisan in nature, yes men, untrained and inexperienced, which we've seen play out with the mishandling of data, wrongful firings of like the nuclear code workers. They erased everything that had the word gay in it. It led to the historic plane, I think it was the Enola Gay, getting deleted, where all of this just welcomes more chaos, more corruption, more inefficiency because they're more incompetent than we've ever seen before, all while wasting taxpayer dollars to do so.
They're very seasoned executives who have made a lot of money and run good businesses efficiently, where they only use the number of people to get the job done that they needed. They gave up their livelihood and they left their families and they came to Washington to try to give their expertise to some of these agencies that are so sclerotic and wasteful that they are not able to function. So, okay, it would be great if, you know, if both sides of this, you know, because when I remember there being an active interest by Democrats in saying, you know what, we know that there's a lot of waste in our government. Now you're telling me there isn't.
That's not at all what I said. I said in Social Security, the current Trump administration acting Social Security administrator has said publicly less than 1/10% of the Social Security payments are being improvident, are not being sent to people who are entitled to them.
Let's assume that you are 100% right.
I agree with you that there is waste and fraud in different federal programs, and sign me up for working in a measured, bipartisan, thoughtful way.
To be clear, Democrats are the only party willing to root out waste, fraud, and abuse, but he is bang on here. Look at how Elon ran Twitter, or X now, you should say, the cesspool that it's became since doing mass layoffs and these weird protocols, the chaotic this to this, one thing after the next. I mean, it's pretty much all been a disaster. It's never going to be profitable. These are the people who are now overseeing our government. We're supposed to be excited about. They're people who only know how to do one thing, and that's cut every corner of quality to make a product that is the bare minimum of acceptable with maximum profit potential. To them, running Social Security with 10 employees is the right move if it saves $50 million a year, even if it leads to like 2-week wait times for any inquiries and constantly late checks. Checks are always arriving 3 weeks late, right? They have no experience in the public sector weighing the effectiveness from the point of view of the consumer rather than the shareholder.
There are people whose names are on the rolls as having been born 150 or 200 years ago. They're not receiving Social Security payments. So the statement that there's all these people, Martha, I'm just repeating back to you what the Trump administration, acting Social Security administrator, has said about the percentage of fraud in Social Security.
So let me ask you this.
Part of why I'm alarmed about Elon Musk and Doge, and they're getting into the systems and they're getting the access to the individual information of millions of Americans is that Elon Musk has made it clear he thinks Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is itself fraudulent, fake, criminal, or illegal. I don't think Social Security is a Ponzi scheme.
Well, let me ask
I think
you something.
70 million Americans depend on it for their principal
but
source
gee,
of
that's
income.
too bad because
so
in 10 years,
Doge
let me
into
ask you a
Social
question,
Security
Senator. Let me ask you a question.
tear it up,
You've made a lot
like
of points. Let me ask you
destroyed
something.
other agencies,
Sir.
I think is immoral.
Saying, too bad to 70 million Americans depending on Social Security is an insane reply. Social Security isn't a Ponzi scheme. I wish the right could say that. I mean, they're not even really trying to pretend to still want to defend Social Security anymore. It's social insurance, right? It's something that those like Musk, those like Trump and others, they want to defund it so they can privatize it. They want to take it from a liability to an asset. Right now, it's something they don't rely on, but they pay into. So it's a burden, right? They want to take it to something like 401ks or IRAs, which have been a massive disaster, but that's because those will always be tilted to the wealthy or them, the corporation owners. It only makes Musk that much more rich if you're investing in Tesla or you're investing in an ETF that has Tesla in it, which with a lot much less risk for him, right? If Tesla stock crashes, he can sell, he can declare bankruptcy, he could just take the hit with all his other companies, whatever. And largely he would be fine, right? And even if like it's a big hit to him that takes out 90% of his net worth, still leaves him with billions of dollars, right? Meanwhile, for you, if it wipes out 90%, that's your retirement gone. You're working until you're dead. Then there's, it's a lot of money. You're left with $100, right? It's a big difference. All because, the owner of Tesla decided to throw up a Sieg Heil. In Trump's world, most middle-class Americans would literally work until they're 70 and then would struggle for like 1 to 3 years homeless on the streets before the elements overcame them.